we've been asked who is a woman.
Welcome to yet another episode of Can Politicians Define What a Woman Is? This time we have up Nicholas Coombes, the Lib Dem candidate for Bristol Central. Let's take a listen to what he has to say.
And I've just told you I'm gay. I'm the worst person to define who a woman is. And that's why...
Oh really? So you're using the cop-out that you're gay, so you can't define what a woman is. Well, I tell you what, I looked at the Twitter comments on this, and you know what everyone said? I bet when he chooses who to sleep with, he knows which genitals he doesn't want to go for, and he knows what a woman is. But in this debate, he's going to use the gay card to get himself out of defining what a woman is. What a surprise.
I don't want rules to say who's a woman, who's a man. If I want to know someone's gender, I'll ask them and I'll trust them.
You don't want rules to say whether someone is a man or a woman, what defines that. Of course we should have rules so that we don't end up with men who have bad intentions going in to women's changing rooms and women's toilets and committing sexual assault, rape, and whatever else. We need rules on this. Don't use that cop-out answer. Who is in the audience here? Why is the applause so loud for a man who has just failed to define what a woman is? He didn't even attempt. He just copped out and said, don't need a definition. You can be whatever you want. I tell you what, I'm a tree. I'm a tree. We don't need to define what a tree is because you can be whatever you want. I've just said I'm a tree. That's what I am now, guys. I hope you all accept me in my new identity.
Now, why this matters is because many women are terrified about violence against women and girls. And
that's why it's important to be able to define what a woman is so that you can make sure people who aren't women who are going to commit violence against women and girls cannot go in their spaces. You idiot.
That is awful. That's the thing that we need to tackle, is to invest.
Wait for it.
People who are violent against women and girls, who could be anyone. And so we need to invest in dealing with
men. Exactly. Now this is the fabulous Kellie-Jay Keen who runs the Let Women Speak campaign that has done so much to speak up against this complete bonkers gender madness that keeps pushing men into women's spaces. This woman here is a strong woman who isn't having any of it. But just wait and see how Nicholas responds to her point here that it is men who are typically committing violence against women and girls. Just listen.
With rape and with women's refuse crisis centres, and implement the Istanbul Protocol on violence against women and girls, so that it doesn't actually matter what gender you are. Now, some of the things that we haven't actually talked about very much are surprising.
I love that face at the end. Right, how did he respond to her point that it is mostly men? He just ignored her. Very typical politician. Who's surprised that a politician is avoiding a point, avoiding a question? I'm not surprised. He just continued on and completely ignored the point. But then what he also did is he brings up the point that the way to tackle violence against women and girls is to just have more rape crisis centres. Okay, so just let the rapes happen. Let the men go into the women's prisons. Let the men go into the women's bathrooms. Let the men go into the women's changing rooms with little girls in them where they can commit those rapes. And just send those women who have been abused and raped, just let them go to a rape crisis centre afterwards so that they can get their tests and they can report it and whatever else. Doesn't sound like a solution to me. Have you ever heard of tackling the cause of the problem rather than just firefighting the after effects? I mean, he's a politician, probably can't think very long term, so hasn't really thought about that. I mean, this is just pretty poor performance. I am so fed up of politicians not being able to define what a woman is. We have just had a new revelation from Keir Starmer's stance on women. Suddenly, he has announced in an interview with Times Radio and in a spat with J.K. Rowling on Twitter that he has always been very clear that biological men are not allowed in women's spaces. Really? Have you always been clear on that? Because it seems like until now you haven't had a clue. what a woman is, or who should be allowed into women's spaces. And we've had different Labour MPs saying completely different things. We've had some Labour MPs insisting that under Labour's governance, that biological men will be allowed in women's spaces. We've also had Labour put in their manifesto as well that they will get rid of this requirement that we currently have for you to have been in your preferred gender for 2 years and show evidence of that before you can get a gender recognition certificate, which means that you have legally changed your gender. Labour are basically saying you just need to pop to one doctor's appointment, get some doctor to sign it off, you can get some wokarati doctor to do it, and woohoo, you are now legally a different gender. So I'm not really convinced, and Keir Starmer is trying to make it out to J.K. Rowling. You know, how dare you, J.K. Rowling, suggest that I, Keir Starmer, have been confused about what a woman is and haven't stood up for women in the past. I've always said that biological men should stay out of women's spaces. What a load of rubbish. Do you know what I want after this general election? And I don't think I'm going to get it, but do you know what I want? I just want a politician that knows what a woman is. I mean, think about how the leaders in the rest of the world are looking at us right now. And Nigel Farage made this point the other day. I'm sure that the leaders in other parts of the world, the leaders of dictators, people like Putin and whatnot, they are looking at our country and seeing how we are just arguing over what a woman is rather than cracking on with things that are actually important, and thinking that we're an absolute joke. We're like the laughing stock of the world now. Why is there a strong case for democracy when dictatorships look at democracies and see all the stupid crap that we're wasting our time with? It's just ridiculous. Can we just figure out what a woman is? We did used to know, but let's just figure it out and then move on to more important things. But apparently it's not easy. And on that dismal note, I'm Chloe Dobbs. This has been another video for Reasoned UK. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss the next video. We will see you very, very soon.